Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, I am a casual reseller on the US and Canadian Poshmark app as well as eBay. So long time no see. I haven't made a video in almost a year, I believe, but hopefully this will be the first of starting to post more frequently again. So of course I had to make a video on the recent announcement that Poshmark made a couple days ago, and I want to talk about it. As always, if you like reselling content like this, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Okay, so if you've been living under a rock or you're not really into reselling or you're starting to think of reselling and you were hearing some things about Poshmark, basically before this huge change, Poshmark took a 20% fee for all the sales that went through the platform, except if it was less than $15, then it was a flat rate of $2.95. So a couple days ago, on October 2nd, I believe, the CEO sent an email or an announcement saying that their fees were going to change based on a tier system plus a flat rate of 5.99%. So this only applies to the US platform. I'm not sure if they're planning to also expand it to the Canadian one. Maybe they're going to test out the waters and see if this is more beneficial for them as a whole. But basically, there are 3 tiers. I'm going to put like the little box here, but less than $15, $1, $15 to $50, $2, and then I think it's $50 or more is $3 plus a flat rate of 5.99% for a fee. Now this pertains to both buyers and sellers. So this fee apparently covers things like buyer protection fee, customer service, and all the things that Poshmark already does, but now they're officially putting a price to all of these things that they provide. So with this change, it obviously encourages people to sell higher dollar amounts because that's where people will benefit the most. Poshmark did give an example of whether or not you sell something for $3 versus $300. In both scenarios, you do take home more money, but the buyer is actually going to be paying more than what they were paying before this big change. So as per Poshmark's example, comparing selling a $3 item versus a $300 item, the buyer is making $1.25 if you sell a $3 item versus $37.26 if you sell a $300 item. So for me, primarily being a seller, this hopefully will benefit me and I will make more sales, but the buyers will definitely be paying more per item at a minimum of 6% if you neglect that $1, $2, $3 amount. So for example, I've only made one purchase on Posh US in order for me to become a Posh ambassador. I paid for an item that was $47. I paid $7.11 for shipping at that time and $2.16 for tax, making my total $56.27. If I were to buy the same item with this new fee system, it would cost me $47 plus I'm going to leave the shipping and the tax the same. Plus an additional $3.37 for the 5.99% fee, plus $2 because it lands between $15 and $50, making my total $61.64 instead of $56.26. So with this change, will buyers be willing to pay this extra fee? I'm not sure. I personally believe that buyers will just lowball, I think, people's listings, and sellers will be more willing to accept those offers because they're taking home more than what they were before. So I don't know if it's going to make a huge change as a total. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below because I actually haven't really read or dug into other people's opinions of the idea yet. It's probably too early to tell if it makes a huge difference. For me, because I just sell casually, I am not totally affected by it. But let's say for somebody that makes a full-time income with reselling and Poshmark is one of their main platforms, it might affect them a lot. Like, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's just what we have to wait on. And with all the changes that happen with reselling, that's just one of them that's happening currently. So again, we don't know why Poshmark made this change, because they've had the 20% fee all this time that they have been live, I believe. And, the analytics of why Poshmark made this decision, we don't know. But in my opinion, it doesn't really make any sense if they're going to be losing out on all this money. So I did some kind of like random calculations to see if they actually are losing money. For example, if you sell a $15 item, in the past, they would be getting $3, which is 20%. But with this new system, each buyer and seller will have to pay $1.47 for the fee, with the assumption of the $7.97 shipping fee plus I just estimated 7% in tax. Plus they would have to pay $2 for each side. So buyer and seller would be having to pay $3.47 to Poshmark. So in this scenario, Poshmark is actually going to be taking more than what they were before compared to the $3, and now they're taking home $6.94. So in the other scenario that I kind of calculated for a $14 item, it's kind of similar. So in those cases, Poshmark is actually getting more money than what they were with the 20% system. So I don't know what dollar amount this changes exactly, but I did the drastic change of a $300 item. So in the past, you'd have to pay $60 fee, which is 20%. And then you would have to pay $19.74 for the 5.99% fee plus $3. Poshmark will actually be getting $45.48 compared to $60. So they actually will be losing money in this situation. But I don't know, like I said, the exact dollar amount. I didn't want to figure that out. But you get my point, and based on this generalized data, I think that my assumption is that most sales that Poshmark is making is less than $50, I'm going to say, and then in that case, then they would be raking in more money compared to before. But it's hard to say because it depends on the items that are selling, but even Posh shows for designer items, people are selling things for so cheap. They always have $3 starts on a designer wallet or bag. How are people even supposed to be making any money on that? But anyways, as I mentioned, I think Poshmark, the majority of their sales is less than $50. In my personal closet that I'm selling, my average sales prices are between, I'd say between $35 to $40, I'm going to say, is my average. So I personally fall under that umbrella and that assumption. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this is going to impact you at all? It's hard to say, but only time will tell. And another thing that they mentioned was that they're dropping the shipping rate for all Posh ambassadors on the US closet until the end of this year. So I think they're just testing out a bunch of different things, and maybe in January they might change things, or that will be the point where they will expand it to the Canadian platform. Only time will tell. So as I mentioned, I would love to hear your thoughts on the whole thing. Leave them in the comments below. We can have a discussion. Especially with those that sell full-time, or like me, people that sell casually. It just goes to show that you shouldn't put all your reselling eggs in the same basket, meaning the same platform, and it's always good to cross-list to more platforms. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in a video sometime soon and not in another year's time. Bye!